Today's video is going to be all about the newest fragrances within my collection. So if you like the sound of that, then please keep on watching. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it's the first time you are joining. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Hayley and I review fragrances. So as already mentioned in the intro, today's video is going to be all about the newest fragrances within my collection. And I have a lot to go through with you because I've had a little break from filming due to illness. Thank you to those of you that checked on me. I'm okay, I'm still unwell, but I'm trying to fill my time with doing something that I love, i.e. making some content for you. And before we get started on the content, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel. It really helps my channel out and I will continue making this content for you. We're nearly at 10K and I am so grateful for the past year. By the way, Happy New Year too. So now that's all out of the way, I'm going to stop rambling. Let's get started on the first fragrance. So the first fragrance that I want to share with you is from Vivamor, and this one is called Vanilla Vice. Vanilla Vice. And this is one of 5 of the newest collection from Vivamor. They kindly sent me all 5 of their fragrances, which is so generous. I was really shocked. And today I'm going to share with you my 2 favorites from the 5 new fragrances. Actually, there is another one. There's another one that I absolutely love, but today I'm sharing 2 of them with you. And I feel like so many of you are going to love Vanilla Vice, and there is a big reason for that. This one smells incredibly similar to YSL Baby Cat, which I'm sure many of you will already know is really difficult to get your hands on. It's definitely been discontinued in the US. It's still available sporadically within the EU, but Vanilla Vice is $125, which is a big difference from Baby Cat. I also have a 20% off code, which brings this down to, quick maths in my head, under $100. So great deal. And this one instantly reminded me of Baby Cat upon first sniff. You're getting that incensey vanilla. There's definitely saffron in here. I do get a little bit of Rosendo Matteo's number 5 in this composition too. Now, I'm not a huge fan of number 5, but I really love Vanilla Vice. So if you like those types of scents, specifically Baby Cat, you need to get your nose on Vanilla Vice. Now, all of the Vivamor fragrances are extrays, which means they have a higher perfume concentration. They are very strong. I can't wait to do a more in-detailed review of this collection. I have spoken about the collection over on TikTok if you want to see my quick fire ratings, but definitely check this one out if you like that kind of resinous, incensey vanilla that's deep, that's powerful, that's sensual, and it has saffron in there because, yeah, I just think this one is great. That's all I can say about it. Which leads me on to another one of the Vivamor fragrances, and this one is Choco Exclusive. And this is definitely a gourmand fragrance through and through. To me, this smells like a powdery milk chocolate. When you initially spray this one, or when I initially spray this one, I am getting a blast of milk chocolate, kind of like the powdered type that you get and you're making a hot chocolate at home. You've popped in your milk. I would say this smells more like it's got an almond milk in there, or like an oat milk. It's not quite creamy, lactonic and milky. It's very decadent, very chocolatey. It's a little bit nutty too. Now, if you didn't already know, Vivamor is the same company as Navitus. So if you were wondering, does this smell similar to Chocolate Queen by Navitus? No, it doesn't to me. They are very different. I would say Chocolate Queen is a lot more gourmand, a lot more rich, decadent, whereas this one, in my opinion, is more of a musky chocolate, dare I say it, even more wearable. I think this is a very well executed chocolate fragrance. Again, I'm sorry these aren't detailed reviews today. I've got a lot to get through, but do let me know down in the comments which fragrances interest you the most, and then I will follow up with more detailed reviews. But yeah, this is such a great new release from Vivamor. One more that I just want to mention, I really love Dubai Riviere. Incredible freshy. It's definitely going to be a staple in the spring and the summer. I will talk about that one in a future video, but I didn't want to overwhelm you with too many Vivamor fragrances in this one video. Okay, next up is Navitus Lost in a Dream. I thought, let's just do all of the Vivamor and Navitus fragrances first. It's just a bit of a coincidence, but Lost in a Dream. This is another one that I have done a quick review over on my TikTok. I really love this new collaboration. Paulina is known for having some hits with Navitus. They all sell out, they all do really well. She's definitely got a great nose. I love her YouTube channel. I'm sure many of you watch her too. So when I saw that this one was being released and I saw the notes, this was the one that stood out to me the most in terms of being something that I would personally love. And spoiler alert, it's definitely my favorite, if not my tied favorite from Navitus. So what does Lost in a Dream smell like? I'm sure you've seen many reviews of this one already, but I will just give you my take on it. Initial blast, I was like, ooh, marshmallow, woody marshmallow. And it's definitely a DNA that I love. It's fluffy, it's light, it's a little bit musky. It's got a slight bit of spice in there. I'm getting a touch of cinnamon. Now, I think in the promos, it was said to be inspired by a croissant and milk. Now, I personally don't get croissant and I don't really get milk, but what I do get is a fluffy marshmallow, which is creamy. I'm getting a really rich woody base. I'm getting some cinnamon. Now, when I explain that all in my head, I'm like, oh, actually, is it like a cinnamon milk, but not super milky? Now, this does smell similar to something I have in my collection, and it instantly hit me when I sprayed this one. And it's a fragrance that I adore, so I was not mad about it at all. But to me, this one does smell very similar to commodity milk. So if you've tried commodity milk and you like it, I'm pretty sure that you are going to like this one. Now, a lot of people are saying in the dry down, that's when they're getting that kind of croissant accord. And I do feel like there's a kind of pastry vibe to it in the dry down, but I'm not getting straight up croissant. I have to be honest with you there. I am getting a rich marshmallow woody vibe from it with some spice, as I've mentioned. It is a beautiful fragrance. I would say this one is a little bit spicier than milk. But yeah, it does smell very similar to milk, so just bear that in mind. I still feel like it's a fantastic fragrance. That's not me being negative about it at all. I just wanted to give you that reference point of how I perceive it. But I think this is fantastic. It's fluffy, it leaves an incredible sillage, and I think this is such a great new collaboration. So congratulations, Paulina. This one is amazing. Okay, next up is a brand that I've slept on for the longest time. I have watched lots of reviews on this brand, and I have to be honest, it never really piqued my interest. That is until I got a discovery set from them. So this is Mind Games. I don't know if you've heard about Mind Games, but it's inspired by chess. And I don't know why I wasn't drawn to this brand, but I just wasn't. I'm being completely honest with you. It didn't appeal to me for whatever reason. That is until now. I have a mild obsession with this brand, and let me explain why and show you inside. So this is a very luxurious travel set or discovery set. They are all 7.5 ml fragrances, and they come in different categories. So I have the amber version, they have a floral version, and I can't remember what the other ones were, but I have the amber version and I could not be happier. It comes with this very chic travel atomizer, which you will just pop your favorite one in and take it on the go. And the reason why I'm a little bit obsessed with this brand at the moment is because I love every single one of these fragrances within this set, which is so rare for me. Actually, I don't want to say love. I really, really like all 5 of these fragrances. I love 2 of them, like absolutely love 2 of them. Can't wait to get my hands on bottles of them, and I will talk you through which ones they are. But I was pleasantly surprised because whenever I do discovery sets, I never like them all. I don't think it's normal to like them all. I don't know. But I was really, really drawn to them. Now, my ultimate favorite one is called Queening. Queening is incredible. The most insane vanilla fragrance. I am truly obsessed with it. I've worn it a couple of times and oof, I will review it in the future. But if you've tried Queening, please do let me know what you think about it. And the second one that I'm very in love with is called The Forward. And this is more of a freshie in my opinion. It's kind of light, airy. I believe there's fig in there. And yeah, I will review them as I've mentioned. But how cool is this set? I would highly recommend you checking out Mind Games if you have not already. But I do also have a full-size bottle that I want to talk about today. So I'm going to pop this down and I've lost the lid. Grandmaster. I've seen quite a few people review this fragrance and it definitely piqued my interest because of how highly spoken about this one is. And this one is coffee. It's rose. I think there's blackcurrant in here, some myrrh. It's sexy, deep, sensual, unique, interesting. I just think it's an incredible fragrance. It's got a panettone note in there, which definitely stood out to me in the notes. I don't actually smell that. Now, I've only worn this once, so maybe I will smell it once I have tried this one a few more times. But I am getting a rich, dark coffee with a sweet, juicy, dark berry. I'm getting the rose for sure. It's kind of a slightly powdery rose. I wouldn't say it's a jammy rose. And then I am getting that kind of myrrh incense feel in the base. It's very mysterious, it's dark and sensual. I do need to play with this one a little bit more before I can give you an in-depth review, but I am impressed with it. I'm impressed with Mind Games overall. I do want to try more of their discovery sets because I think I'm going to find some real heroes within the other collections too. But I think the next Mind Games fragrance that I will add to my collection will likely be Queening. I absolutely love Grandmaster. I think this is an incredible fragrance, but I think Queening is my favorite thus far that I've tried. Very different though, so watch this space and I will decide, but let me know if you've tried anything from the house, and if so, what are your favorites? Next up is a new brand to the market and it is called Bibbi. Now, one of the co-founders is also the founder of Wilhelm Perfumery, so I was really intrigued to try this, and I believe it's set up with his wife Bibbi, which is where the name comes from. I might need to fact check myself on this. And the larger sized bottles come in a ribbed glass, so almost kind of in the same aesthetic as Wilhelm, but they are a like frosted blue color. So Bibbi reached out to me and they said they would like to send me a fragrance. I wasn't sure what they were going to send through, but I said yes. I was so curious to try the brand, and they sent through one called Pistachio Game. And as soon as I saw the name, I was really excited because I'm on a hunt to find my ultimate pistachio fragrance. I still haven't done that yet. So I was super curious. Now, this doesn't smell like pistachio at all to my nose. However, it's a really beautifully done, aromatic, almost salty vetiver. It's quite fresh in the opening. There's some kumquat in here. It's got a greenness from eucalyptus. It's a little bit powdery. There's some violet. There's also frankincense in here. It's a tiny bit smoky. It's a very unique composition. It reminds me of being in a hot country, being by a lake. There's salt in the air and there's some kind of greenery around you. I would say almost relaxing, like a fragrance that you could wear to meditate. I know that is the weirdest description, but I do feel like this is a really interesting fragrance. I'm not sure why it's called Pistachio Game because I personally don't get pistachio, as I've mentioned, but I'm super curious to try some of the other fragrances in their collection. I'm going to check out if they have a discovery set because the quality is amazing. I guess I expected the quality to be amazing because, of course, co-founder of Wilhelm is part of this. But yeah, has anyone tried anything from Bibbi? I think they're maybe only in the EU at the moment. They are available at Liberty's in the UK. I believe Liberty ship internationally too, but would love to hear your thoughts on this one because this is a fantastic quality fragrance that's very calming, and I would wear this if I was having like a stressful day and I just wanted to relax. Next up is the newest release from New Notes, and I've been super curious about this one because the marketing of it was kind of giving off erotica, of course, as the name suggests. It had like a bunny mask, it was giving like dominatrix, it was giving sensual. So I was super curious to try this one. Now, I was a little bit surprised on first sniff. It's not what I was expecting it to be, but I understand why it goes into this direction. So to me, this has a very powdery, talc kind of smell. And I guess it makes sense because I know that when people wear latex, they often put talc on their skin to get the latex on. And also, it is giving that kind of musky, erotic vibe. It's also very floral. I'm getting a lot of geranium. But I don't know. Do I class this as erotic? I'm not sure. This is a very nice, powdery, fluffy smell that is giving off talc vibes. It actually reminds me of Talco, which is also by New Notes. It's got that same vibe about it. On the skin, this one does get more musky and it does get a little bit more sensual. But to me, this is more of a powdery, fluffy musk. So if you are into your powdery fragrances, specifically that have a kind of makeup vibe to them, if you know what the smell of Guerlain's, what are they called? The little balls. Guerlain makeup smell. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit. I'm getting lots of iris in here too. I've mentioned that it's floral. There's a slight touch of vanilla, but yeah, this is giving kind of sensual talc powdery musk to me. I would love to know if anyone else has tried this one and what they're getting from this fragrance. But if you do like that kind of cosmetic, powdery, lipsticky vibes with a little bit more musk in it, I would urge you to try this one because it's really, really interesting. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this one and if you want a more detailed review. This next fragrance is my favorite from the brand and it is called Nomad Soul. I've had this one, I think, for about 4 weeks now. And I've sampled it a couple of times and I'm in love with this scent profile, and it is why I think it's the best one from this brand personally. I absolutely adore their packaging too. But Nomad Soul, you are getting tea or mate with a little bit of florals. You're getting a fresh cardamom up top, a little bit of citrus, so you've got some bergamot. It's definitely got a dose of ambroxan in here. And there is oud listed. Do I get oud? I'm not sure I get oud, but what I am getting, oh, so good, is this zingy opening. So I'm getting a lot of that bergamot and it's very, very juicy. And then I'm getting that spicy cardamom, but that's also fresh and a little bit herbal. And then that tea note starts to come through and it mixes in with this sweet, pink, almost jammy rose. It's incredible. I think this is amazing. If you like tea fragrances, I urge you to get your nose on this one if you can find a sample. If you like Thé Noir by Le Labo, I think you will absolutely adore this one. I adore Thé Noir. I think it's an incredible fragrance and this is such a special composition. It's now one of my favorite tea fragrances in my collection. Can't wait to do a full review for you on this one. But yeah, if you've tried anything from this brand, specifically Nomad Soul, please do let me know down in the comments. And last, but by no means least, we have Tierra by Pernoire. And Pernoire is a brand that I discovered in 2023 and it blew my socks off. I've spoken about Mansa so many times on my channel. Wow, I can smell this one already just taking the lid off. It is a potent fragrance. So what does Tierra smell like? This has quite a strong musk in it. I believe it's musk, and it does give me a slight vibe of Herba Pura. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Herba Pura, so that initial kind of blast is a bit much for me. I have to say that. However, it does go into a slightly different direction. This has spices, it has red berries, there's some oud in here. But it is a powerhouse of a fragrance. Now, I have to be honest, this one's not a full-blown love for me. Mansa from the brand is a full-blown love, but Tierra, I'm getting that Herba Pura reference. I don't know quite why, but I am getting that reference. So if you like Herba Pura, I would highly recommend you check this one out. But the difference being, I am getting those red berries, and they're like spiced red berries. I'm getting a strong but smooth oud. There's a boozy quality to this with the rum, and then lots of benzoin in the base. Yeah, it's not a full-blown love for me. I wanted to talk about it because it is a new fragrance in my collection. It was kindly sent to me in PR too, but in terms of being a full-blown love, it is not. I probably won't reach for this one just because Herba Pura and me don't get on, but if you do like that type of DNA, I would recommend you trying this one out. But for me, it's not really something that I'm going to wear, as I've already mentioned. If it didn't have that opening, I would definitely like the berries, the spice, and the oud. Please do let me know if you do want a more in-depth review of this one, longevity, all of that kind of stuff. But I can tell you, these fragrances last. But I have to throw it back. Mansa from this brand. Absolutely love it. Anyway, this was the last fragrance that I'm going to be reviewing in today's video. Let me know if anything stood out to you in this video and if you do want some more in-detail reviews of any of these fragrances. But what I want to know is, what are your new fragrances in your collection? Please do share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have picked up recently. But thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure as always. I hope to see you in a future video to come. Thank you so much and goodbye.